Hello and welcome back. I'm actually on a track that is heading into a woodlands. No surprises there, but yeah, it's something that I'm doing today because I haven't been on this track and there's good reason, and I'll tell you about it in a moment. But we've just come through the hot weather, or the heat wave as it was called, and it was hot, so yeah, I suppose it classifies as a heat wave, but it's cooled off and it's rainy today. And I've actually got wet weather gear on. Well, you can clearly see a gate behind me there, and that's leading to a track. This track is a track that leads eventually to, or intersects, a public footpath, and I frequent that one quite often. Indeed, I have permission for the woodland to walk in on the opposite side of the valley overlooking this area, but I've never been on this track. This track remains unknown, and you know, I do not have the foggiest idea what is along this track, and I'm keen to find out. There is one little caveat with that: it is a privately owned track, and that comes with its own set of shall we say, complications. And I'm not going to go into those. I'm going to state here, don't ever go on private property, and what I'm doing here, I'm doing totally on my own head and risk. But yeah, I'll just show you quickly what's around me. We have a little meadow just leading up into a further piece of woodland there. The track, another meadow, and you can see in the far distance the woodlands that I do have permission to actually walk in. There is a small little stream running by the hedge that comes off the road, and indeed, with this hot weather we've just had, I should imagine this would have been a thoroughly pleasing place to actually sit and just watch the water trickle away. And for the cattle, it would have been a godsend for them to get a cool drink and get out of the actual sun that we've just had. So I'm actually making my way along the track now, and this track has visible prints from vehicles, so it is used. Not often, but you can see that vehicles have come here, shall we say, intermittently, I would say. And yeah, due to all that hot weather we've had, this 24 hours of rain and that has made everything smell really foresty, full of that nature smell you get when things have been hot and sticky, and then when it rains it just feels so alive, and it smells so alive as well. The forest smells so different after it's rained, and it just has that smell of, it just smells really vibrant. And I'm coming up to another gate here, and if you was to go down there, that leads you to an extremely large river. Right inside that gate there is a track leading up into that bit of commercial forestry. Now as I swing round, you will actually see the track, and I'll continue along it. It's actually of a good quality. It's stone and gravel, but it's really nice today. There's some birds singing, there is a lot of wind, and that moisture is making everything just look so vibrant. The colours, the difference in shades of greens and that is absolutely stunning. Over the last week or so, as the weather's gradually dried out all the vegetation, it's just lost some of its luster. So this is really nice to be back out in, and it's only taken literally 24 hours for these plants and trees to suck up all that moisture and come to life again. So I am a little bit apprehensive because you know, it just stands to reason I don't have permission to be here. I'm looking pretty nondescript. I've got no camouflage clothing on me, which I usually have in some way or form, whether it be my top or bottoms. I'm never full camo, but I usually got either the bottoms or the top. So I'm looking like just a nondescript walker, which is what I'm trying to look like, which is black waterproof. So I've got my hiking boots, this very drab coloured walking jacket and a grey bag carrying my coffee and biscuits for when I do find somewhere to stop. But yeah, I have got a lot of apprehension about being in here because this isn't something I enjoy doing, as in not being out in the wilderness, and I'm certainly enjoying looking at around me at something that I would possibly never see from the other side of the valley, but there is apprehension. So yeah, I'm just trying to be a little bit stealthy. I'm not trying to how can I put it this way, draw attention to myself, and I'm trying to actually do this with a degree of professional shall we say stealth, which isn't going to leave me exposed to any kind of confrontation or having to explain myself, or indeed apologising for my actions being here, which I would do, but I'm just trying to avoid any situation. I've noticed there's quite a lot of blackberries along this particular track which are starting to develop. Obviously they're still in their very early stages of being green, but yeah, it looks like there could be a good harvest this year. I've just come through this particular gateway and you can easily identify this gate isn't opened and closed that often. There's actually moss growing on the actual rope and it's pretty impregnated, so obviously this gate isn't being opened and closed that often. But yeah, I'll swing you around. This is the track we're going up now. And there is a river down there, and on the opposite side there is a weir. I know that for a fact, but we have to make our way up this particular track here now. So I'm just leaving that gate behind me, and we've got a buzzard above us, I think, a bird of prey, but it's a real strong smell of wild garlic. I can't actually see it, I have been looking for it, but it must be hidden away here. But it's really pungent. As soon as that wind changed, it really swiftly had a big aroma of wild garlic. And I am actually looking around for it. But it's one of those things, because I don't have full permission, it's the kind of thing that it's very, very much a case of I just want to walk through, but I'm trying to observe what there is here and just put it in the memory bank so I can remember it. But I don't feel comfortable enough to fully look around and explore. Where that river is, you can see that little island in the middle and the stones going around both sides. When there's heavy rain and this river is swollen, I would guess that that island is pretty much cut off from either bank, and there'd be a raging torrent coming down the main channel. But this side channel, because there's a few trees there, I would think would still have water, but the flow would be a lot less than the main channel. But it would still cut that little island off. This woodland though is in stark contrast from the first part I walked through, which was like forestry, commercial stuff. We're back into like the native species and what is pretty much a typical native woodland for the UK. That being said, it doesn't look particularly ancient. Everything looks like at some points in the not so long past it has been coppiced, but yeah, there isn't any majorly big outstanding trees, but it's still been here for a substantial period of time because there is a wide variety of plants and trees within it. And I would say it's probably beginning to dawn on me that this is possibly used for sporting purposes. Well, looking at this muddy section, I can see various different sole prints, so there has been quite a few people walk along here, and on top of that I can see the telltale signs of dogs. So people are using this wood in a recreational manner in any way, shape or form, you know, with or without it being used for sporting uses. I would say people are walking this track. So maybe, you know, I might not be doing something all too unfamiliar to the landowner, people walking along this track. But even so, I'm still doing my best to stay as respectful as I can to the land here. Just peering over this little bank that well, skirts the trackway, I'm making it a little bit higher than this particular ground here. You can see it's extremely marshy in there, and I would say pretty difficult to move. I would say it possibly floods here on big storms and volumes of water coming down that river. So I don't think there's any reason for me to investigate there anyway. Like I say, I still have a fair bit of this track to go, and yeah, it is actually, my nerves are beginning to settle a little bit, and I'm actually enjoying being in here a bit more. I've heard deers, I've not seen them. Plenty of wildlife, as in birds, plant and tree species, and yeah, I should imagine this track probably came in off the road to a farm, as you probably would guess, many years ago. But I've just got this feeling that it now serves people who use this woodland for sporting use. Now, one thing I would like to say is never underestimate landowners or people that work the land or anything like that. You might think you've passed through or been in the woods and not left any mark, but these particular people that work the land, been in the forest or own it or use it for whatever reason, be it forestry, wildlife, or indeed sporting, you have to be respectful to the fact that they know the woods that they're in and work. So, you know, never take them for a fool. They will know at the slightest glance whether you've been in or somebody's passed through. So always tread lightly and be respectful. After all, these guys, you know, this is their world. I'm just walking down here because I can hear water moving at quite a rapid rate. So I can smell wild garlic again. Where is it to? Can't see it. Can't see it. Right, a little bit of, it's almost sandy. So it's obviously silt. This obviously floods here. And there it is. That is what I can hear. Not a major waterfall, but as you can see, there's a lot of water coming there, and further upstream there seems to be another little set of stones creating the water to actually have to pass through quite fast. That's very pleasing to see. And that is back down the river. I'd like to spend time here, but I don't want to outstay my welcome, shall I say. Well, I think I've found it. It looks like it's all died back. It must have gone to seed, because some of it looks like it's got seed heads, and you can see it going up over here. My hand smells garlicky, oniony type smell. Yeah, I'll have to look when I get home, because I usually spot it when it's in its, shall we say, form where it's not actually gone over or gone to seed. But I think this may be wild garlic gone to seed. Definitely leaving a pungent smell on my hand anyway, whatever it is. every now and again you come across a little paddock coming off the actual track. So somebody was obviously trying to eke out a living at some point from the riverbanks, and yeah, I should imagine it would have been challenging to get a living off that land. Bear in mind the winters, I would guess it floods. But yeah, somebody was trying to eke a living out from these bits of ground on the riverbank. And moving around here, I can see this track is used by tractors as well. You can see tractor tracks here, right there, and that's reasonably recent. So that's kind of put me a little bit more on edge, even though we do have the Corming River below us there now. Yeah, I know I'm not too far from the public footpath now, because this track is only about 1.5 miles long. So yeah, I can't be too far from joining it. And I'm actually looking forward to joining the track and being able to sit back and think about what I've just done here and what I've seen. And I've really enjoyed this. Well, I plodded that last little bit out at quite a pace actually. I started to feel a little bit more uncomfortable as I could see a house through the trees on the opposite side of the bank. Now I can actually just see the marker for public footpath, and I know exactly where I am now, and I can piece all the jigsaw puzzles together, pieces of it anyway, by this when I look down on this from the other side of the valley. So I've enjoyed doing this, and like I said, it's something I've needed to do to satisfy that curiosity. I don't think there's any further reason for me to come back here. I think I've got enough in the memory banks, and I've seen it and I've explored it as much as I feel comfortable doing. So I'm going to make my way over to that marker, public footpath marker, and make my way on the actual footpath now. You can see there's a option of tracks to take from here, and the other 3 are legitimate tracks to walk. And I can sense my anxiety and anticipation of getting to this point has actually dissipated quite substantially. I'm going to take my jacket off because it's become extremely muggy. The only concern I have, if it wasn't wild garlic or onion or something like that, I'd like to know what it is, because the smell on my hand is absolutely overpowering. I can smell it now, and you know, it's I'm not going to say make my eyes water, but yeah, it's really overpowering, whatever that smell is. And I think it is wild garlic, but like I said, as with everything in nature, if you're unsure, go and do your research and check it out online through books or people with the knowledge to point you in the right direction. And because I don't know what it is, I wouldn't be messing around with it, like putting my hands anywhere near my eyes, mouth, because obviously till you're 100% sure, you do not want to contaminate yourself with possibly a toxin or something that could do you harm or bring you out in rash. So yeah, that's always a bit of a warning. I foolishly crushed it all up because I was in full belief it was wild garlic. I still do believe it is, but until I go and check it out, I'm going to be very cautious, and the nearest chance I got, I'm going to wash my hands in a river. So yeah, I'm going to make my way up this track now. And because we were at river level, I'm now having to climb out of this valley on the opposite side. Now, I should have taken my coat off back there. I really am beginning to sweat now. But I'm looking for somewhere I can just sit and have a cup of coffee at the moment, and just have a little bit of reflection and enjoy the moment. There's a little hidey hole for the Cornish creatures of legend and folklore. Now they're probably doing the right thing. They're probably still having a lie-in while I'm still trudging these tracks now. Whew. This hill just feels like it's going on and on and on. And that coffee and those biscuits are going to taste nice when I stop. Now I've just spotted the seat which I'm going to sit on and have my coffee. Oh, quite a nice place to do it as well. And a little like hazel and beech grove here. The trees aren't old, and it's backed by a fern meadow which I can see deers have pushed over. But I've just come off the track which would run up there. I'm not trying to be stealthy, I'm pretty much on the track now, so a cup of coffee just off it shouldn't really make a difference to anybody really. So yeah, I'm just going to park my bum there and get my coffee out. Well, I'm here, I've got a coffee, I've got my biscuits down there, and I'm touching my food with a hand I didn't touch those plants. So basically, yeah, the thing is, I did hear shotguns going off, and as I was walking back up the last bit of track, now I did determine that they were, you know, a good 3, maybe 4 fields away, but it gives me an indication that field sports are practiced around here. So you know, I possibly won't be venturing in here again. This was nice to come and see, like I said, just to place what I can't see from the other woodland over here. I have no reason to come back. I've seen it, I've explored it, and it feels nice, and I've actually done it and got back on the public footpath without any confrontation. I've left no trace, no mark. The only thing possibly is some footprints in the mud, like what I observed others people had footprints there. So, you know, I think I can draw a line under wondering what is on that track or what it looks like, and you know, and even though there was no exciting finds, it was just nice. It fills that void, because when you're looking across, the human mind always has wonder, and you always wonder, I wonder what that track would look like. And like I said, I've done it. So I'm going to have a few of these biscuits with my coffee, and then I'm going to crack on and get back down to the bottom of the valley, which by the footpath I'm going to have to do a very long circuit around. So yeah, I need this drink and biscuit now. Well, we're on top of the valley, and as you can probably guess or hear, there is that wind noise. In fact, the wind is really blowing a hoolie up here, and that goes to show how sheltered that little valley is. And I've got a group of cows just staring at me. But yeah, that wind is really hammering now. And from over the top, that very peak there where you see the tree, it's sitting on top near enough. I can see that from my bedroom window. Right, I'm on my way back, and I've spotted an opportunity to go off-piste again, shall I say, or I'll use that term. And yeah, it's on another track. It's heading down in the direction I need to go, but I don't really have a full understanding of where this one goes. Yet again, all the conditions apply to doing this. So yeah, I'm just going to turn tail and make my way down this track, and hopefully cut a mile off my journey. And here I go. There's still some wind because we're quite high at the moment, but this is a descent. I know this actual trackway cannot go up, so it has to go down, and that's obviously where I want to go, which is down. So here I go. It is quite nice, but it is newly planted. The reason I know it's heading down the same way, because I can just see the lane about 50 metres down the slope. Now you can't actually see this track from the road. I had no idea it existed, but yeah, it's going to save me a bit of time. Well, I think I spoke too soon about it being an easy track. It's starting to get a little bit overgrown, so hopefully I don't burn too much time where it may have paid off to have stuck to the road. It's getting quite difficult in places here with footing. As you can see, it is still nice to be in here. There's the road. If you're wondering, can I get down there, there's about a 30-metre sheer drop down onto that road from the bank. So that's not the easiest option, but it is lovely being in here, and I'm losing the wind. I'm now actually gaining a footpath to where I actually know it's going, so that worked out pretty good. So just plod this out so I get to my split in this path, which you can see here, which is pretty overgrown now, but yeah, keep following this one. And this is a disadvantage when you go off piste. Oh Jesus. I know this goes on for a quarter of a mile, this particular track. I'm not going to fight my way through those. I'm going to double back and get back down on the lane. I've been beaten. Here I go, doubled back, and this is where I can gain access to the lane without having to climb down over banks. Look left and right before stepping out, because nobody's going to see you just jumping out of a hedge. There you go. Now I can get back to my car in good order. Well, I got back just in the nick of time, as the weather has gone absolutely south, as they say, and yeah, I'll let you have a quick look, see how bad it's actually got. There you can see the trees in the wind, and you can see the rain. And only a few days ago we had the heat wave. So yeah, British weather, if nothing else, it's changeable. Well, I hope you enjoyed that bit of North Cornish countryside there, and all that's left for me to say is take care. This is Andy from Folklore Hiking Sticks, and I hope to see you on the trail soon.